Hello YouTube, today a bit of a short video and a bit of a different video. On one hand it's a bit of an update on the channel and on me, and on the other hand it's a bit of an explanation that I owe some of you. So first of all, a little update. Videos unfortunately take longer than a week to produce the last few weeks, for the simple reason that I have a lot on my plate right now. My study has become a lot harder and I am working on two big projects for the channel, which literally eat away most of my free time. But I'm really excited about those projects, that I really want to keep working on them. And I think that eventually they'll become great for all of you to enjoy. But you'll need to have a little patience. But that's kind of disturbing my regular video schedule, and I'm not really liking that, so therefore this explanation for those that care about it. So unfortunately this week will be the second time this month when I won't make the every week a new video promise, and I'm really sorry about breaking that promise, and I'm doing everything I can to get the next video done. But I don't want to rush it, because this channel has always at least tried to be about quality rather than quantity, so forgive me for this. I will really try to get back on schedule as fast as I can. With that said, today we have something of a video subject as well, as I wanted to answer a little question that I get a lot in the comments, and I always try to answer that question to the best of my abilities to the people asking, but it seems like it won't reach the majority of the people. Well, actually it's two questions. Question 1, why don't you do my requested videos? And question 2, why do you largely stay away from certain areas of the lore? Well, let's begin at question 1. Why don't you make videos on the subjects that I request? Simply because I get a lot of requests. And I mean it, I get a lot of requests. I think that the list that I compiled of requests this year alone has already over 150 requests, which is more requests than videos there are on this channel at this point. So yeah, that's not possible for me to do that all on my own. I mean, I need to make a choice which subject I want to do, and how do I do that? Well, that's pretty simple. I factor in two things. Do I want to do the subject, and how many requests does the subject have? For example, some requests that I got only like once, I still do sometimes, because I really, for example, the video I did on the economy of Skyrim during the Civil War, or the genes and DNA of the races, I got those requests only once, but those were so weird and specific that I instantly wanted to do them, because I was like, hey, I really want to know myself how this works. And then there's also the requests that I get a lot, like the videos on the Aedra, which I got so much that I really started doing them now, with the first video in the series debuting 2 weeks ago or something on Mara. Or for example things like the Sadia and Kamatu dilemma, those kind of things all have a lot of requests and were kind of interesting to me, so I just gave them a go. It's pure fan service. So why don't I pick your requests? Well, I do, but I get so many of them that I end up doing maybe only 2% of the requests that I get. I would like to do all of them, and I did in the first few months of my channel, but after that there were just too many requests to do them all. So I need to choose which ones I want to do, and usually I end up doing the ones that I like, because if a subject is interesting to me, then the video will be way better, because I then will be excited about the subject, which will make the video more enthusiastic. Or I pick the ones that I've been requested a lot and do as much fan service as possible. I try to find a mix between those kind of factors. I know that there's YouTubers that make it easier for themselves and just say, I want to do only the requests I get by patrons from Patreon, but that doesn't really seem fair to me. I already received a lot of requests also by patrons, but I don't tend to give them special treatment unless I really like the subject myself. But then again, if I really like a subject myself, it doesn't matter from who it comes, I just do the video. So now there's also requests that I won't pick, regardless of how much they've been requested. And those are in large parts requests for metaphysical lore and very early history lore. And it used to be first and second era lore, but I've started doing those. And let me explain why, because I know that I will be disappointing a lot of people by saying this. I try not to do these subjects, not because I don't like the subjects or because I don't like the sources of the subjects, but I'm doing it to save subjects. By that I mean I save them for later, like I did with first and second era videos. I haven't done as much as I wanted to, but that's because I don't know too much about them, but some are still coming. They're on the way. I mean, by saving subjects, I really mean that I save them for later, because you have to understand, Elder Scrolls lore, it's huge, and there's much ground left to cover for me, but it's fully possible that Elder Scrolls 6 is more than 4 years away at this point, and I intend to continue making videos over the entire period until Elder Scrolls 6. And at one point, I'm gonna run out of subjects. So, what I did is, since I know nearly nothing about metaphysical lore and early history lore, I purposefully avoid learning too much about the bare basics of it. I purposefully try to avoid learning too much about it than the bare basics. Sorry, that's the best phrasing. Because when I am out of subjects, and it's gonna happen eventually, then I will have this immensely large other part of the lore to dive into and make it exciting for myself all over again. Because I did that in part with first and second era lore, and it worked. Because I used to do most third and fourth era lore, and while I'm not done with that, I wanted to do something different, because I was getting a little bit bored by it. And then when diving into history from the first and second era, that made it all exciting for me all again, if that makes any sense. So I want to save some subjects for later, simply for the fact so I can continue with this channel as long as possible, and I can keep making lore videos as long as possible. Now, that may disappoint people, but in my opinion, there are already YouTubers and podcasters explaining everything that I don't explain in a fantastic way. So for the time being, if you can't wait for me to run out of subject, pay a visit to one of them. One of the best, in my opinion, is the podcast by my friend Eremithius. It's called Written in Uncertainty, and it's on a separate site from YouTube. And it's, in my own opinion, one of the best ways to learn up on your deep lore. So go and visit his podcast if you want to know more things about, the things that I don't cover. I'm really sorry if I disappointed people, and I really don't like saying all this, because I don't like disappointing people. But it's the way that I want to do this for my channel, and I want to make sure that the channel has a long future ahead of it, and I hope that you all understand. And if not, let me know. I mean, contrary to what most people think, I actually read all the comments. I often just take some time, I get my phone and I go through the YouTube app, and I basically scroll through all the comments that I got. So I read it all, and if you give me feedback, please do. I want to know what you all think of this. I'm gonna try to put out the next video as fast as possible, and yeah, that's gonna happen, I hope. With that said, this wasn't a lore video, so I'm not gonna say until the next lore video. I'm gonna say goodbye, and yeah, I think that's it.